Yes, yes.
At last.
Is Ken Dodd your real name?
No, it's an anagram.
An anagram.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, is it? No, see. What is the anagram? Oh.
Dencod.
Dencod. And you are from... No, clear this up. Is Knotty Ash mythical or real?
Oh, no, Knotty Ash is a real place. A lot of people think it is a fig leaf for my imagination, but no, it's a real place. It's Knotty Ash, a little village about 4.5 miles east of Liverpool, and it's there, all right, and we have, that's where we have all the Knotty Ash industries, you know, the snuff quarries and the broken biscuit repair works, and the gravy wells, where we export Knotty Ash gravy all over the world in our fleet of gravy boats. What time's rehearsal?
Have you got your right teeth in?
Yes, oh, this is the one, yeah. Central eating.
But listen, were they always there? These, I mean, you were born in Knotty Ash, weren't you?
Yes, yes.
And raised there?
Yes, yes.
And all these industries were there when you were a child, I
Oh,
assume?
yes. We had them all there, the Jambutty mines and the Treacle wells. And, oh, yes, all there. As a matter of fact, we have our own motorway sign now on the M62, this lovely big Knotty Ash. A lot of people can't believe it. You can't believe it.
But what kind of childhood did you have, Ken, there?
Very happy.
Was it?
Yes, very, very happy. I think I had the best mum and dad in the world, and a brother and a sister. It was 3 of us, one of each. And mum and dad, I had a little bitty man daddy and a little mini mum. And they all, between them, my family life, and Knotty Ash, I think I owe it all to her. I started entertaining in Knotty Ash.
But I mean, was there a lot of laughter in the family?
Ah, yes, yeah. A lot of people often say, who's your favourite comic? Who's the comedian who you model? Well, it's my dad.
Really?
Definitely. He was the funniest man I ever knew. Very, very funny man. Every sort of Sunday afternoon when we'd had, you know, you having your tea, have pineapple chunks. Chunks and carnation. After that, my dad always used to do impressions for us and sing us songs like An Egg and Some Nam and an Onion, and all his great favourites were, you know, Will Hay, Jack Pleasance.
What about school? Were you a funny lad at school? Were you different?
Oh, yes. Yes. It's a bit difficult, this, you know. See, on one hand, I'm trying to answer you with a sensible remark. On the other hand, the brain, the computer, it takes over and you're trying to think of the funny ones. Yes, I went to, I was teacher's pet. I used to sit in the cage at the back of the classroom. I went to a mixed school. We wouldn't drink anything else. I went to Knotty Ash school. No, I don't think so. I was quite... When I was 3, I could read. And I used to read all these, The Wizard and the Hotspur and the Rover. And that's how it all started. One day in The Wizard, I read this advertisement. It said, fool your teachers, amaze your friends, send 6pence in stamps. So I did, and I got this book on how to become a ventriloquist, didn't I? Yeah, he'll tell. And also, this little bird warbler you put in your mouth, you go... And months later, through going in the woods lot and lying in the long grass, I became an ornithologist. People say it affects your eyesight, but it never has with me.
But you went to... Your first job, in fact, wasn't in show business, was it? I mean, you were on the knock, on the door, weren't you?
I worked with my father in a coal business with my brother. And then I was on the knocker, as you say, you know, going round selling, you know, pots and pans and tickling sticks. And I think that's where the Mrs. bit started. All my life, I've always sold things and served. You know, I tried to serve being of service to the public. And I still am, I suppose. Whereas at one time I used to have a bucket and pan round. Now I have a tickle round.
A laughter round.
Aye.
Yeah. But what about when you started making people laugh professionally? What kind of places did you work?
You can't make people laugh. You can only give people a laugh. Laughter is inside you see. Everybody's got laughter inside them, and as a comic, all you do is just touch the spring of laughter. Everybody is born, as a baby, you're all born with a chuckle muscle. A chuckle. It's worked its way up past your clack and out through your titillate. It's very like an attack of wind. As a baby, you're born with a chuckle muscle, and if you don't use it, you must use your chuckle muscle every day to have a laugh. You're doing great. Yours is doing great. If you don't, it'll wither and drop off. Sorry.
But no, I was asking you, actually. That's your trouble, is you shoot off and then you forget where I am.
Indeed, yes.
I mean, how did you begin making people laugh?
I got some jokes, and then whenever I used to play a club, or I used to go in and ask the steward for a cork.
A cork?
Yeah. It wasn't that I was a nervous performer. I just used to... burn it and put a big moustache on. Because at 15, I didn't think I had the authority to tell gags to grown-ups.
I see.
But, so I started off, and I'd seen this advertisement somewhere where it said, Arnold Ramsbottom, plumber and artificial leg maker. So that tickled me.
Artificial leg maker.
It was the two things.
Plumber.
And so I call myself Professor Yaffle Chocobutti, operatic tenor and sausage knotter. And I used to go around telling gags and clubs. Then I graduated to Masonics. Are you in the...
No, I'm not. Is that what they do? Is that the secret?
Oh, yes. Didn't you know that?
I didn't know that.
Mr. Fisher, the producer here.
Mr. Fisher,
Mr.
my
Fisher,
producer.
Yes, we are in... He took me last week to join. We know a secret that nobody in the whole world knows about. Do they, Gladys? We're in the Oddfellows, you see.
The Oddfellows.
And he took me to the Oddfellows temple. He said, on the way, Doddy, on the way. He said, if anybody stops us on the way, swallow this. I said, what is it? He said, an enamel bucket. We got to the lodge, we gave the secret knock thrice. Or was it force? Anyway, somebody opened the little door in the big door and chucked a midget out. The big fella opened the door with a long nose. He'd lost his key. He went to the cellar. One big, tall, ginger-headed fellow, he had the scrolls. He said, I'm sorry, lads, I'll have to go home. I've got the scrolls. Sorry.
What did I ask you? I don't know.
Try and think.
I have no idea. I tell you
Oh,
what.
we started off doing Masonics.
Masonics, that's right.
And then Sunday concerts, and then I met this fella, this agent. I was introduced to a man called David Forrester in Liverpool 25 years ago, and we had tea at the Adelphi Hotel. We had tea and cakes, and the bill came to £1 and £9, and he let me pay. So I thought, well, if he looks after his money like that, he'll be all right for me. So he came to see me working. I was playing just an odd week at Wigan Hippodrome, and it was in a strip show, you know, one of these nude shows. And it's very difficult telling gags with just your socks on. You're not allowed to move, you know. The stagehands get the sack. The stagehands get the sack for some ugly white mice into the theatre. And I signed up with Dave Forrester, and we've been friends, and my friend and my mentor and my agent for 25 years.
Has he given you that £1 and £9 back yet?
No, reminds me.
What stage did the hair? You know, when you do the hair, what?
I'm a very nervous, you know, I get stage fright very easily, and then in the first days, I had to have some house to go, oh, right, do. And one night, it was in Norwich, at the Carlton, I was doing this, and it actually stood on it like this, it's up there. So I used to say, how's that message? By Jove. P-A-L, puts hers on, lads. P-L-J, puts lumps on Judy's. And the hair and the sort of thing. These people say, how did your fingers get like that? Well, actually, I had them trapped in a till. And the teeth bit, that came because I always used to try and do things differently. My dad always used to say to me, you must be original. There can only be one of everything. I remember Ronnie Taylor saying that. You remember that? And he said about Jimmy Clitheroe. There can only be one Jimmy Clitheroe. There can only be one Frankie Howard. There can only be one anybody. You know? And so, as I say, I'm a one-off. The doctor said there's nothing you can do about it. I wanted to be an original, so I capitalised on the teeth and the hair, and I used to say, I'm the only one who can eat a tomato through a tennis racket. I'm the only one who can kiss a girl and nibble her ear at the same time.
That appearance on Parkinson would prove to be so popular that Dodd was invited back a year later, which gave Parky the chance to ask some questions he hadn't managed to squeeze in the first time round.
Now then, sir,
Young man.
A question. Last time I met you, we did a one-man show.
You
Didn't
did?
we, together? No, I didn't. You did a one.
Oh, I did.
And one question I didn't ask you about that was your appearance. We never
Thank
got
you.
round to your.
Well,
to your
I
appearance.
must admit, I'm glad you did, because I do find it very difficult, actually, like being a comedian. I mean, when you have perfect features, it makes it very...
Sorry, I was laughing at Barry.
Oh, right. Yes, I mean, look, you see, when you have a Grecian profile like mine, I mean, look, what do you think?
It's very good. I think it's very winsome, yourself.
Yes?
Yes.
Winston?
No, Winsome.
Handsome, it's a dog food.
It's a dog food. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you.
Did you ever think...
He's starting early, isn't he?
think among the teeth straightening?
The teeth, pardon?
The teeth straightening.
Teeth, is that a threat?
No.
Oh, well, I did, actually. I tried to look after them, you know, and I capitalised on them. I tell jokes about them, jokes. I went to the dentist the other day, and a lot of people, you know, when you go to the dentist, it's usually the people full of fear. With me, it's different, so the dentist is full of fear. And I went to the dentist, as I went up the dentist's path, I got this sinking feeling. I fell in his goldfish pond. The receptionist said, will you need gas? I said, I don't think so. Well, she said, please yourself, it's freezing in that waiting room. So I went in, and the dentist, he said, now you'll have to stop eating sweets. I said, why? He said, you've bit my finger twice. He got this big needle. He said, now, won't feel a thing. And he jammed it in my gum. Do you know he didn't feel a thing? And he said, when he'd finished, he said, now I want you to take your trousers off and jump up and down.
Why?
I said, I want my money back. He said, I want my forceps back. But people do. People do go to dentists. There was a lady, this was a true story, a lady who had a real sort of snagglepuss mouth, and she had, she had a mouth like a burnt-out fuse box, and she went to this posh cosmetic dentist in Wimpole Street. I think you got it right. Yeah, we're doing them in alphabetical order. This is Wimpole Street. He fixed her beautifully, and she was a landlady of a pub, actually, and she was back in a year's time with a nervous breakdown because none of her friends were speaking to her. She had this lovely set of choppers, and nobody would speak to her, and she was a nervous wreck.
Why won't they speak to her?
Well, because she'd changed her appearance, you see. Oh. And this same dentist said to me, he was doing my he said, well, that's it, Ken, nothing else I can do unless you want them straightened. I said, you're kidding. I was told when I was 11 I could never have nice teeth. Oh, he said, I'd fix those up for you. So then I was in a dilemma. I had to go around asking everybody, shall I have my teeth straightened? They said, no, leave it as it is. We've got to have somebody to laugh at. But I think with a comic has to realise very early on, when you start out being a comic, you have to learn to let people laugh at you as well as with you.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to take it all in your stride, and people say to you, sometimes, oh, Dotty, somebody said to me this couple of months ago in Leek, he said, how do you manage to look so young on the stage? And so blooming old on television. This is
the kind of thing you have to take, isn't it? Yeah.
If you're a comic, you have to let people laugh at you, and I don't mind.
Ken Dodd wasn't just making people laugh. He's always been a student of comedy too, analysing it and trying to understand why people laugh.
Humour, I think, was given to us as a great and a wonderful gift. The gift of laughter, the gift of humour. God, the Almighty, our Maker, whatever name you like to give him, he gave human beings this wonderful gift of laughter, because nobody else can laugh. Animals can't laugh. Do you know that? Man is the only being that laughs. And when was the last time you heard a tomcat say, "By Joe, that was a good one"?
How can you, as a non-Jewish comedian, tell Jewish jokes without being anti-Semitic?
Because you, being an entertainer, you are, if we have a gift at all, if there's any gift we have, it's the gift of empathy and sympathy. You are able, the good entertainer is able to actually sit in the audience and watch himself. And so, therefore, I would think like a Jewish person. I would think, really, first and foremost, I would think like a human being. And I would think, well, would that joke offend me? There was a comedian who went to heaven, and they said he could only go in if he'd done something very brave in his life. And he said he'd done something brave. He said, what did you do? He said, I stood up in Belfast and said, to hell with all the Protestants and Catholics. And he said, when did you do this? He said, about 10 seconds ago.
And here is Doddy showing nationwide reporter Michael Barrett how the humour in his home city of Liverpool is a little different from anywhere else.
Liverpool is a very beautiful city if you know where to look. We've got some lovely beauty spots and some fine architecture. Here, for instance, we have our own column, the Duke of Wellington. The Duke of Wellington, who in 1600 and something, at the Battle of Fazakerley, repulsed the 44th Mounted Wimpys. The Duke of Wellington was also responsible for a very famous piece of equipment that no self-respecting Liverpudlian would be without. His wellies. St George's Hall, 16 Corinthian columns, 60 feet high, supporting the facade. It started off as a bush shelter, but it just got a bit out of hand.
And why the Earl of
Bill
Beaconsfield
Shankly.
there?
Is it?
It is.
The Earl of Beaconsfield?
Yes.
I always thought it was Mrs. Shankly. And it was surprised. We learn something every day. Well, visitors to Liverpool are quite often charmed with the place. Charles Dickens, when Charles Dickens came to Liverpool, he described it as that rich and beautiful port. And John Masefield, the poet, said it was lovely in all weathers.
It's the only city I can think of that has its own particular dialect.
But you see, this goes back a long time to when there were the 7 lost tribes of Liverpool, the 7 lost tribes, and when the town planners came in, when at one time the town planners seemed to favour demolition more than replacing places. Now, it's getting better now. They are building some very beautiful places. But at one time, there were the 7 lost tribes. They sent one lot out to Skemersdale. They didn't want to go, but they went. Another lot went out to Runcorn, Kirby, and all these places became very sort of, colonies of Liverpool. And didn't always get a good name. They said in one of those places, if you saw a cat with a tail, it was a tourist. And each tribe has its own dialect. For instance, the very posh people in Crosby and over the water, they say, "Where are you working, Mary?" Whereas the people in the south end of Liverpool here, they say, all right, bigot. Get down there and get us one of those furry coats. They have Judies with fur hair. This is our own language. We even have our own words. Like, if I said to you, if you had a Judy down a jigger, and this fella came along and he was bevied, so this scuffer came along and took him away. Okay?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Well, you were with this young lady and you were doing a spot of courting, and this gentleman came along who was inebriated. So a policeman came along and escorted him to the police station. So there.
In the 1980s, Dodd was made an OBE for his services to the entertainment industry. He was also charged with tax evasion, for which he was eventually acquitted. Between those 2 events, he set himself the challenge of performing at every British theatre, which led to this encounter with Terry Wogan.
What about this bet? You're doing it again, actually, going around the place. This bet you made
Yes.
that you're going to play every live theatre.
2 years ago, I made a bet that I would play every live theatre left in Great Britain. And here I am. All the different theatres all over Britain. 'Cause I thought there'd be about 60 or 70 theatres. But in actual fact, there are hundreds. There are probably more theatres in Britain now than there were 40 years ago.
How many have you done so far?
A lot. I think it's going to be the one bet I hope I'll never win.
Yeah.
Because there's entertaining live audiences. When you go to watch a live show, you don't just watch the show, you're in it. You take part in it.
Yeah.
And
You love playing to a live audience.
yes, a live theatre, it's a one-to-one experience. There's not all this scrap iron in the way. You can get to them. There's my audience up there. By Jove, Mrs. You see? Look at this. By Jove, what a beautiful day.
You sit here if you want.
No,
You can face
no.
it.
What a beautiful day. All the husbands. Try shoving a handful of ice cubes down your wife's nightie and saying, "There's the chest freezer you've always wanted." That's what I was. I think... Anyone in from Scotland? Never mind, I'll do it anyway. What a beautiful day for putting your kilt upside down, standing outside the town hall and shouting, "How's this for a shuttlecock?" This is... What a beautiful day for ramming a cucumber through the vicar's letterbox and saying, "Look out, the Martians are coming." The most beautiful sound in the world is the sound of laughter. Most beautiful. Brilliant.
You'll bring it up.
You all right?
It's big chest.
It's your chuckle
It's big
muscle.
chest.
It hasn't been properly exercised.
Well, I know you studied humour, haven't you? You've made a great study of it.
When I came into show business, I thought I was a salesman at the time, on the knocker, and I decided I'd better find out what it was I was selling. So, what is a laugh? So I went to all the libraries, and I looked up the word laugh, L-A-F-F, and I looked through Aristotle and his brother, Aristide, and Schopenhauer, Freud. Freud said that a laugh is a sudden explosion of psychic energy. Of course, the trouble with Freud was he never played second house Friday night at Glasgow Empire. And I studied, and I found out, I mean, what a laugh is. I mean, what is a laugh? I'll talk to you. You look sensible. What is a laugh? A laugh is a noise that comes out of a hole in your face. Anywhere else, you're in dead trouble. That's... Yes. This is... People laugh at all sorts of things. Some ladies laugh at little things. It's a pity, really, but there you are. But I had...
They like to laugh at other people's misfortunes.
People do. Laugh at other people's misfortunes. I'll never forget the time my dad had the boil on the end of his nose. Yeah. A boil, throb, on the end of his nose. My mother couldn't sleep at night for laughing. And so, I got the doctor in, and the doctor took one look at this boil in his nose, and he ordered us all out of the bedroom, and he took this big needle out of his bag, out, and we all waited out, and we could hear, "Ah! Whoa!" And the doctor came out. He said, "It looks much better now. I've sewn a button on it." People laugh at all sorts of things.
Well, no.
People laugh at all sorts of things, and other people, you know, strange things. You have to be a little bit of strange in this business, because people often wonder what you're doing. You don't mind about this, do you? Fact. I just wanted to do it. People laugh. Generally, routines. Now, there's routines about Christmas, there's routine, the doctor's routine. I went to the doctor's the other way. I went to see Dr. Greenberg, because he's a wonderful man. Does a bit on the side, and, you know, he also attends to cats. And, yes, that's why you have to be very careful, you know, when you go to make sure he knows exactly what you want. When he's been on the cough machine. One fellow went there to have his tonsils out, the stretcher was the wrong way round, and, so, this... Oh, yes. Went in as Angus, came out as Agnes. Anyway, I went into his insulting room. He said, "Now, are you paying or shall I hurt you?" "No, I said, I'm paying. Right, he said, "Take all the clothes off." So I tore my clothes off. He went in the next room for a laugh. He came back out and said, "You'll have to diet." I said, "What colour?" He said, "Never mind about it." I said, "Well, I'd like a second opinion." He said, "You're ugly as well." Now, that's a routine, you see.
And a good one.
Yes, and the Christmas rib. A joke is totally... A joke is a story. Little boy said to his dad just before Christmas, "Dad," he said, "I don't want a bike for Christmas." He said, "What, son?" He said, "I don't want a bike for Christmas." He said, "Why not?" He said, "I've just found one behind the wardrobe."
Appearances like that one were classic Ken Dodd and encapsulated his act perfectly. Packed with one-liners and with the audience in the palm of his hand. So how to top that? Well, let's finish with a song that once was a hit for Wogan himself. Yes, brace yourselves. It's Doddy's version of the Floral Dance.
Oh, as I walked home in a summer's night, when stars in heaven were shining bright, far away from the footlights glare and dribbling into the sweet and scented air. It's funny. Of a quaint old Cornish shore. Born from afar on the gentle breeze, soft as the murmur of some seas, distant tones when old worlds dance, played by the gasworks band perchance, on the Kahama came full of hoot indoors. I thought I could hear the spurious tone of the cornet, clarinet and big trombone, fiddle, cello, bass drum, fife, smooth, euphonium. Far away as in a trance, I heard the sound of the floral dance. Tiddlywinks, old man, suck a lemon if you can. If you can't suck a lemon, suck an old tea can. I'll pull my brutish jeans on. Get off your horse and drink your milk. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. And soon I heard such a bustling and prancing, and then I saw the whole village was dancing. In and out of the houses they came, old folk, young folk, all the same, in that quaint old Cornish town. Every boy took a girl by the waist and hurried her off in tremendous haste. Whether they cared for one another I knew not, whether they knew one another I care not, but they kissed as they danced along. They danced the bend, the spurious tone of the cornet, clarinet, and big trombone. Fiddle, fiddle, fife, the sweet and the flirty hum, each one making the most of his chance, all together with the four done. Hit me with your rhythm stick, yeah! Na 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 na. Hissing Sid is innocent. I felt so lonely standing there, and I could only stand and stir, sorry sir, for I had no friend with me. Lonely I would have to be in that quaint old Cornish town. When suddenly, hurrying down the lane, a figure I knew I saw quite plain. 'Twas Fanny from the fish shop. With outstretched arms I rushed along and carried her into that merry throng. Hop on over, Fanny, show what you're made of. Allez. And I fiddled, went dancing along. We danced to the bend of the spurious tone, the cornet, clarinet, and big trombone. Fiddle, cello, soon you thrown it out, each one making the most of his chance, all together in the mortal dance. Dancing here, dancing there, jumping everywhere, up and down the town. Hurrah!